Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another very exciting episode of the Wrassingh Show. Today, we have a very special guest, the most desired star in all of pro wrestling. 6 feet, 1 inch tall, 251 pounds, PWI rates him the 24th best wrestler in the world right now. Here with us is Alexander Hammerstone. Alex, it's such an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First of all, Alex, congratulations on making history. You are the longest reigning Ultra Champion ever. You will soon be crossing that 1,000-day mark as the champion. How does that make you feel?
You know, man, when you lay it out like that and put it in the actual number of days, it's quite surreal. The PCW Ultra Championship was like something, when I first joined the company, it seemed like so far out of my reach, and it's something I really had to work my way up step by step by step. So now finally being at the top of that mountain, you know, and staying there this long, it's quite rewarding.
That's right. It is an accomplished that, you know, it's almost impossible to reach. 1,000 days is incredible. But as incredible as your title reign has been, it seems like it could be in some kind of jeopardy, because in just a few days, on October 21st, you will be defending that title in the first ever UltraVault match. And first ever means we don't know what to expect. We really don't know how brutal it might end up being. So does that make you feel a little bit nervous heading into the match?
Yes and no, because it's like you said, we don't know what to expect. You know, when you start involving, you know, cages and weapons and things of that nature, that's not really my forte. That's not my cup of tea. It's not my wheelhouse. Also, there's multiple competitors in the match, and not all the competitors haven't even been named yet. So there's a lot of unpredictable factors. That being said, PCW Ultra has been at the top of the game, bringing in the top competitors from around the world for years now. So every time I've wrestled at PCW Ultra, it's been a tough competitor. I've never had an easy day at work there. And so this is going to be no different in that regard. There might be some unpredictable factors, but it's just going to be another day at the office for your boy Hammer.
I like that. All right, so we know that the vault is going to be different. It's going to be full of weapons. There will be a coin that will be tossed. A coin will determine which 2 wrestlers will be entering the vault first. And then every 90 seconds, a new competitor will be entering. Now, what position would you like to enter the match yourself?
You know, I guess the most expected answer would be last, right? You come in the freshest. Everyone's already beat each other up. But I'm going to throw a curveball, because it's been a minute since I've been at PCW Ultra. I want to get in there first. I want to remind everybody I'm the champion for a reason. And by the time that last competitor is coming out, hopefully he's been watching the monitor, seeing all the damage I'm causing, and he comes in with his tail tucked between his legs, ready to lay down for a pin.
You're oozing confidence right now, Hammerstone. You're oozing confidence. And as we know, we talked about it, you will be joined by 3 other wrestlers. SINN, BODHI, we know SCHAFF will be there. We don't know who the 4th entrant is going to be. You have any guesses, any idea, predictions? Who could this person be?
You know, it could be anybody. PCW Ultra has quite the reputation for bringing in some of the top talents in the world. You know, they've had guys like RVD, guys like Penta. The list goes on and on. So you never know what to expect. But the one thing you can't expect is it's not going to be a letdown.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it won't be a letdown. So you like your chances of winning the match, irrespective of who the 4th person turns out to be?
You know, I think there's a certain level of confidence you have to roll into a position like this with, because if I go in there second-guessing myself, if I go in there worrying about each and every little detail, it's just going to throw me off my game. So I'm going to show up, do what I've always done, and hopefully get what I've always got.
Okay, I like that. Now, you know, we know that before, you know, the UltraVault match was announced, the first ever UltraVault match was announced, you were expected to be fighting Killer Kross. That was the original plan. How did you like your chances against Killer Kross?
You know, he's one of the very best going today, at the top of the industry for a reason. I guess the only caveat I have to throw in is I was around when Cross first got into the business. I was there watching him from his first baby steps in the business. So I've been around him a long time. I'm very familiar with him. If the only thing that could possibly give you an edge over a guy like that, who's just so powerful, so intimidating, so calculated, is just knowing him that much better than everyone else. So, I had a certain level of confidence going into that, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that maybe I dodged a bullet there.
Okay. Now, when I interviewed Cross, right before he left for the WWE, he said, and I quote, Hammerstone could not show up and save himself, or he could show up and it's gonna be the way it's gonna be. So he was very confident against yourself. He thought that if you don't show up, you're probably going to be saving yourself. But if you show up, it's going to be a world of pain for you. Now that it is Killer Cross who is not showing up himself, do you have any message for him? Do you have anything to say to Killer Cross yourself?
You know what? I think Killer Cross has a better chance of winning that WWE Championship than he had of winning the PCW Ultra Heavyweight Championship. I'll just put it that way.
Wow. You know what? I really want to see that match. And I've got a feeling that this match between Hammerstone and Killer Cross will happen one day. Let it be a PCW Ultra ring or a WWE ring. I've got a feeling it's going to happen.
There's some things in the business that just have that certain magical feeling that it's inevitable. And it's probably just a matter of time till we collide again.
That's right. I've got a feeling it's going to be happening. I look forward to it as well. Now, Cross, of course, he is with the WWE right now. And if you look at the past PCW Ultra World Champions, half of them are currently signed to a major promotion. I'll be straightforward with you here, Hammerstone. What are the chances of Hammerstone signing to WWE or AEW in the near future?
Well, as for the foreseeable future, I'm currently under contract with Major League Wrestling. Right. My immediate plans are what's ahead of me. So right now I'm focused on, being the best MLW World Champion that I can possibly be, because that's where I'm at. I have a lot of goals left there, but on the other side of that, the possibilities are endless. I haven't written anything off the table. I don't have my eyes specifically set on any one goal. Okay. But my career has had a funny way of taking me where it needs to take me at the right times, and I have no doubt that in a couple years it'll continue to be doing that for me.
I love that. I love that. So I know that you love your time with PCW Ultra. We know that if you look at the top promotions right now, the WWE or AEW, there's a lot of stuff going on. WWE is flourishing under the new regime. AEW is going through a bit of a tough time at the moment. Do you have any thoughts on either of the two promotions?
You know what? It's hard to say. Both companies have, a lot of talent behind them. I think obviously we're seeing kind of the benefits of having the decades of experience and leadership and direction is kind of benefiting the WWE product right now. But, at the same time, there's a lot of us that a couple of years ago when AEW first popped up, we thought it was going to be around for 6 months. And here we are years later, and they're still going. So there's no reason to write them off and say that they can't continue to grow for years to come.
Sure. Sure. And I know that you've said this in the past time and time again about AEW superstar MJF. You've said that he's one of the best right now in the industry. Do you still stand by those words?
100%, man. He's really kind of, especially like where he's at, he's kind of in a league of his own.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So a match against MJF, is that something you desire?
Oh, 100%, man. I was very fortunate to face off against MJF in I believe it was 2020, maybe late 2019. And one of my favorite matches to date. He just brings something to the ring that is undeniable. You can't help but pay attention to him. You can't help but hate him. He's really one of a kind. And I had a lot of fun wrestling him. And hopefully I get to have a lot of fun wrestling him another time on perhaps even a bigger stage.
I like that. All right, sweet. Now, if you look at the PWI 500 list of the year, of course, MJF is at 16. You're very close to him at number 24. Very, very impressive. You're actually way above, the likes of Will Ospreay, Wardlow, Randy Orton, Braun Breaker, even guys like AJ Styles. How does that make you feel?
You know, it's crazy. It's humbling. It's mind blowing. This is a list that when I first got into wrestling, I wondered if I'd ever even be on it anywhere. Um, you know, and obviously everybody has their own opinions, and you know, people will say it holds X amount of weight, or it doesn't hold any weight, or it's the opinion of this guy, that guy, the other. But at the end of the day, it's a cool feat to have accomplished, nonetheless. I'm very appreciative of my spot. I think that's very reflective of the year I've had in wrestling. You know, so holding championships like the PCW Ultra Heavyweight Championship, holding championships like the MLW World Heavyweight Championship, the FSW Heavyweight Championship, some of the most prestigious championships in the industry right now, and being undefeated, you know, and not losing those big time matches on the big stages.
Right.
I think that's what got me to that spot. And hopefully this match in October at PCW, this counts towards the next year and maybe bumps me up even higher.
What number are you aiming to for the next year's PWI list?
Oh man, I mean, let's see, I jumped up to somewhere around, you know, for the 50 or 60 mark last year. I jumped up to the 24 spot this year. There's no reason I shouldn't be in the high teens, maybe even crack that top 10. You know, you really never know. I think people are going to be surprised by some of the things I'm able to accomplish in this next year.
And I know that, you know, WWE had the chance. They had the golden chance of hiring you a few times. You did tryouts with the company. Do you feel like they regret not hiring you back then? Because, you know, look at you now. You're flourishing. You know, everybody wants you. Just like I said, the most desired star. The fans want you on TV. I'm pretty sure the promotions want you. Do you feel like there are regrets in the company that they couldn't get you at the time it was right?
You know, that's always a possibility, right? But, you know, here's the thing. I'm one of those guys who, when people get to a certain point and then they look back with this bitter attitude of, hey, those guys slept on me when they had the chance. It's not like that. You know, when they had the chance to sign me, I might have shown that raw potential, but I hadn't begun to flourish. I hadn't started proving what I'm capable of. I was just raw potential. And, you know, getting turned away might have been that kick in the ass that set me on the path I'm on now. And if they look at it with regret, hey, maybe down the line there's another chance to work together. But as for the time being, I'm grateful for everything that's happened the way it's happened, because it's carved me into the wrestler I am today.
Absolutely. I love that. And we know that, you know, people love to compare you. Back in the day when you had longer hair, people loved comparing you to Triple H, right? People
Yes.
love to compare your physique to Hulk Hogan. Nowadays, the comparison going around is Brock Lesnar. People love comparing you to Brock Lesnar. They see you're the next Lesnar. How do you feel about those comparisons?
You know, it used to really bother me because I felt like no matter what I did, I was just dodging one comparison to get stuck into the next one. But that being said, I've never been, you know, compared to, you know, like Crash Holly or somebody like that. I've always been compared to a top guy, a mega superstar. And those are some comparisons to be proud of. And, you know, even maybe it's just the man bun, but these days I can't even go to the grocery store without someone telling me I look like Brock Lesnar. And it just makes me chuckle. But if I'm able to not only bring that look to the ring, but elicit some of those same emotions and that same presence, you know, those are some good guys to be compared to. So at this point, I'll just take it as a compliment.
I love that. So a match against Brock Lesnar is something that you desire?
Talk about being having confidence and not being intimidated. I think that might be a match where I have to recant those statements, because going into the ring with Brock Lesnar is I don't care what level you're at. That's got to be one of the most intimidating things you can do.
I look forward to it. I really do. I feel like, you know, Brock Lesnar might be intimidated by you. Have you guys ever had any personal interactions? Has he ever met you in person, anything like that?
I met Brock Lesnar one time, you know, just in passing, doing the kind of work you do
Okay.
with WWE. Nothing more than a handshake and a hello, and he had that he had that intimidation factor about him just in that brief passing moment.
I like that. Yeah, I've got a feeling that we're going to be seeing some big matches out of you in the near future. I'm looking forward to it. You're awesome, though, Hammerstone. You're incredible, not just in the ring, but even outside of it. You recently blessed the fans with your album "Blown Away Luna." Now, can you tell us something about the inspiration, the idea behind it? How did you decide to come out with an album?
Well, before I got into pro wrestling, I was a musician. I played in lots of bands. I played as a drummer. I played as a guitarist.
Yeah.
It's just something I kind of always loved. But when I got into professional wrestling, it was such a demand on my time. I was working a full-time job, then getting off work, going straight to the gym, then getting out of the gym, going straight to wrestling training, and then on the weekends, jumping into a car and traveling all weekend long just to barely make it back to get to work on Monday morning. And so all the music really kind of fell by the wayside. It was something I kind of pushed to the side. And in the last, year or two, I've been very fortunate that wrestling has become my full-time job. And that's allocated a lot more freedom to me to kind of dip back into some of those hobbies I used to have. And music was the first one that really came back to the surface. And I just kind of fell in love with it all over again. And I realize how healthy it is to have an outlet outside of professional wrestling. Because as good as it is to be obsessed with this stuff, if you get too stuck in it, it can drive you crazy. So I kind of put a lot of my mental effort and focus into the music, and just kind of enjoyed doing it so much that I decided, what the heck, let's do an album.
It's awesome. Now, I absolutely love the song myself. Now, what is the story behind the name Blown Away Luna?
So there's almost nothing of a story. I didn't want to put out the music under my
I see.
wrestling name because it wasn't completely associated with me as a wrestler. It wasn't, any kind of theme that really tied together. And Blown Away Luna was just the name of a project that I had tried to do about 10 to 12 years ago, a music project that kind of never really got off the ground. So I just kind of picked up that name and put it towards this. And the name almost has no meaning. We were sitting there, my brother was in the band, and we were sitting around kind of shooting the breeze, trying to come up with something. And I forget if he just uttered the phrase in a sentence somehow. I don't really even remember, but it's the funny thing is that he just said it sounded cool, and we said, hey, let's just roll with it, because naming a band tends to be one of the most overthought processes, and you sit there trying and deciding something's not good enough. So I just heard the first thing that sounded passable and ran with it.
I love that. I can tell how much you love music and how much you love making music. Would you ever like to incorporate, your side, the other side, into wrestling? The musician Alexander Hammerstone, anything like that?
A lot of people have brought that up. They've said, hey, when are you going to write your own entrance music? Or what if you played yourself to the ring on guitar? I'm not sure exactly how a crossover might happen when it happens, but, I'm completely open to the idea. I think the best stuff in wrestling, the stuff that the fans enjoy the most, is the stuff that is, real, and they could feel a connection with it. Music is something that has a connection to me. So if we could find the right way to kind of have that crossover, or, something of that nature, I'm all game. That'd be awesome.
I love it, Hammerstone. I love it. And now coming back to PCW Ultra, if you're able to successfully defend the title at Set in Stone on October 21st, is there a name out there that you would like to defend the title against next? Anybody?
Oh man. I get this kind of question a lot. It's hard. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of any one person that I'm really itching for. I see guys all the time, though. Where the industry is so fast paced, it grows so fast right now, and guys are, able to get that exposure so much more easily than they were, 5-10 years ago. So I see these guys all the time that are popping up. They're just incredible. But the thing with the PCW Ultra Championship is it's got a lot of prestige, so not just anybody gets to walk in and fight for it. Hopefully, maybe we bring in one of these international superstars. Maybe it's one of the top guys from Japan, or, top guys from Mexico. I love sprinkling some international flavor into what I do, and I've been a lot of those places. It'd be cool to fight some of the guys on my home turf.
I love that. That's right. That would be great. And this time, PCW Ultra actually is bringing in a lot of those international stars. We have SUMIE SAKAI who's coming here. You know, we
Yep.
know that PUMA King is coming here, coming back to America for his first major wrestling appearance. It's going to be big. Set in Stone is jam-packed. It's jam-packed. Hammerstone, PUMA King, you know, Joseph Samuel, of course, Ultimo Dragon will be there. What match or what part of Set in Stone are you looking forward to the most yourself?
Oh man. You know what? I always enjoy the ultralight matches. Jay
Like
Vidal, the current ultralight champion,
that's
he's
right.
he's really like stepped his game up in the last couple months, and every time he wrestles, see, I wrestled that guy, you know, maybe 2 years ago now, and I didn't even know much about him. I, you know, kind of went in the match, kind of just feeling him out, and ever since then, he's just exploded with talent. So I'm really going to enjoy watching that match, I think. And it's going to be such a different change of pace from the way that I wrestle. It's always nice to see something different.
I love that, Emerson. I love it. Now, let's take a look. Before we wrap up the interview, let's take a look at the match card for the show, and let's try to predict the winners for every single match. So,
Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna piss somebody off.
it's all right. It's all right.
How about you predict the winners, and I'll chime in when I desire.
You're playing safe right here. Okay, you're playing safe. All right, let's start with this one right here. We got Shane Hayes. We got Puma King. Um, you know, I'm pretty sure you know these two guys personally.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm more familiar with Puma King, and
Okay,
he's always impressed me. He's got such a unique style. He really he wrestles like a cat. It's incredible. I gotta say maybe I'm gonna lean with Puma King simply because I'm more familiar with what he brings to the table.
I like that. That's a great answer right there. All right, so next we come here. It's Papa ESCO and Toa Leone.
Oh man, have you seen Toa?
Oh yes,
That
yes.
oh my god, that guy. I'm sorry to Papa Esco, but Toa Leona is a freak. That guy, he's another guy who intimidates me, man. He's like a freaking savage in that ring. So
Oh yeah,
I gotta lean with my boy Toa. I think he's got a little bit of youth on his side, you know, to push him through that one.
sure, sure. And Killer Cross, you know, Toa Leone was actually a little stepping stone on his path to Hammerstone, and he killed Toa Leone in the ring. And that makes me even more excited, you know, about a possible match between you two guys. Hopefully at PCW Ultra one day. That'd be nice.
Yep.
Nice. Anyways, moving on here, we've got Casey Navarro and Lucas Riley.
Man, both these guys are truly incredible. Both these guys have, man, those guys are awesome. I gotta say, I think I'm gonna lean with my boy Casey on this one. I think I'm gonna lean
All
with
right,
Casey.
I like that. Okay, and
That's
then
gonna be close though. That's gonna be close.
no, I would agree with you. Casey is it's pretty good. Anyways, moving on here, we've got the Ultra Women's Championship match. It is SUMIE SAKAI and VIVA Van. Who's winning this one, brother?
Oh man, I might be torn on this one. You know, you got Viva, who's obviously walking in the champion, but Sumi's got so much experience on her. So, man, that's really a toss up. That's gonna be one to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we already know the ultralight champion Jay Vidal will be defending against LINCE Dorado. Now, I think your answer has to be, you know, Jay Vidal since you love that guy.
I think I gotta stick with him. Lindsay is obviously incredible, and I think Lindsay might be one of the biggest tests that Jay's had up to this point. But
Sure,
man, he is on a hot streak, and I'm thinking he's gonna fight really hard to keep it going.
absolutely. And then we've got Danny Lamplight, who is going to be in the ring against Matt.
Oh man, I like both these guys a lot. Very different though. Very different.
Okay,
So here's the thing. I know Danny up until recently was with MLW, and I think now that he's really got a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to prove that he's worth what, you know, that next contract wherever it may be. Vandegrift has been on the rise. I don't think I could choose in this one. I think I'm going to be split again.
Okay, well, I hope your friendship's not going to be coming to an end after this interview comes out. But we're going to be moving on to the final, the main event, of course. It is the UltraVault. You know what we're talking about. It's just Hammerstone, SCHAFF, SINN, BODHI, and God knows who. Who's winning this one, Hammerstone?
Is this even a question? Hey, let me ask you who's winning this one, and make sure you answer correctly.
If this was an interview that was face to face and not over, a computer, I would probably, say Hammerstone instantly. But since I'm kind of safe right now, I have to say I'm looking forward to seeing who the fourth person will be, because that could be a game changer right there.
I think it definitely has the potential to throw a huge monkey wrench in the match. Because at this point, no matter what the game plan is, it might have to change on a swivel. Because, like you said, we don't know who that fourth mystery man is, and we don't even have any idea what to expect. So things can definitely change.
Absolutely, Hammerstone. But one thing's for sure, Hammerstone will be dominating and most likely walking out still the champion.
Yep, that's the plan. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're planning for. And in October, that's what we're gonna fight for.
Absolutely, Hammerstone. Once again, thank you so much for joining me here for this exclusive interview. And guys watching this right now, PCW Ultra Set in Stone is going to be live on October 21st. So make sure to get your tickets. The link is in the caption below. Once again, Hammerstone, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, thank you for having me, and enjoy yourself. Hopefully you get to watch the show, and I hope you get to enjoy it as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.